Hey Blaze, so this is a demo video of your Leia's Pachstore Leia Proffie Saber. We have the config all finished up for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through each of the blade style presets, the sound font presets, and just show you everything as it is finalized on the Saber. And then a quick note about the config. As you requested, I have it set for a 32-inch blade at the bottom of the config, so it's set to a value of, I believe, 118, which is pretty close to, it's like a 32 to a 32.5-inch blade. This is compiled under the latest ProffieOS 7.7, and this has an idle timeout set on the board, so this Saber will time out after 5 minutes of inactivity. Essentially we'll go to sleep, but it's not technically a deep sleep. But there are no accent LEDs or additional LEDs or blades drawing power other than the main blade, so it should in effect be being actual sleep. There should be no additional amp draw from the board once this blade is off and once it's timed out. And then this also has some gesture controls. It'll have twist on, twist off, and swing on. So let's get started. So your first preset here is royalty. So Leia.
For the general, to me she's royalty.
So that is the wake up. So the Saber was idle, it was sleeping. So when you hit the power button, it'll wake it up. Now, for the purposes of this demo, I don't actually have a 32-inch blade that's BTF strip, so I'm using the next best thing, which is my 26-inch blade. So it should be close enough for the demo. And this is a blue audio flicker pulse blade. Here's the soundtrack. And actually what I'll do first is I'll run through all the soundtracks so you can hear them play. And this is the one for General Princess.
Are you a Jedi?
TheRescue.
I am.
Master Skywalker.
This is Grumpy Uncle.
Rey Skywalker.
And this is Rey from JuanSith.
You're hard to get rid of.
This is Dyad Rey.
I'm all the Jedi.
This is TROSGraflex.
Rey Skywalker.
This is ReFlex.
This is the way.
This is Mando Mix from The Jedi, Season 2, Episode 5.
The NASA team is ready for launch.
This is the Starlight soundtrack for Orbital.
Watch this.
Watch what?
This is Piece of Junk. This is for Noble. And this is just another Rise of Skywalker soundtrack I put on here.
Imperial troops have entered the base.
It's Lightside
Imperial
attack.
troops have entered.
Surrender, Jedi.
Okay. So those are the soundtracks. So they're all set, squared away for your sound fonts.
Battery power level.
And this is your power level. This is the very last preset, battery indicator. So now we're back to the top again. So this was royalty.
I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
This is General Princess. And this is a lighter blue, and this is a pulse blade.
Are you a Jedi?
This is TheRescue.
I am.
This is a green custom hump flicker.
Master Skywalker.
And this is, I believe this is Grumpy Uncle. Let me make sure. Yeah, this is Grumpy Uncle. This is the Last Jedi version. This is the one with a little less flicker on it. It's still this is still a two-step audio flicker. In other words, it's a standard audio flicker with an additional flicker layer.
Rey Skywalker.
And this is Rey from JuanSith. And this is Dyad Rey from The Last Jedi. This is your unstable blue. Or actually, I should say your hyper unstable. And this is the Rise of Skywalker Graflex. This is your Rise of Skywalker blue, which is sort of closer to a cyan. And then here's the twist on. And the twist off. And then here's the swing on. And just remember when you, I think, yeah, when you swing on, it goes into bagel mode, which means it avoids a clash. It goes straight to lockup. So, like that. And I'm not pressing any buttons. I'm just holding it. And I think twist on does the same thing. Yeah. So when you twist the saber on or swing the saber on, it goes into bagel mode. But if you just ignite the saber with the power button, it's in standard mode. Okay.
Rey Skywalker.
This is ReFlex. And this is the Last Jedi blue. which is closer to an Arctic blue. It's got much less green in it than the Rise of Skywalker version. This is the Jedi Season 2, Episode 5. This is a Ahsoka Tano blade. That's her Beskar Prion. Comes in with a silver blade. It's a silver static blade. I love the emitter on this saber, by the way. This is really cool. You get the full effect of the blade all the way down to the pins. I will say with this saber design, as much as I like it, the one thing I will say, be careful of, is that the retention screws for the blade are all the way down here towards the bottom. So you've got less than 1/4 of an inch between where the retention screws are locking in the blade and the base of the blade. So I would be very careful doing combat with this saber, only because there's not much strength given by where the blade retention screws are placed. You're fine swinging it around, and you're probably even okay if you have a heavy grade blade of doing some, light tapping. But I would avoid like full contact with this saber just because of how the retention screws are designed.
Sounds like you win.
I wouldn't want you bending any of the pins on this thing. That would suck.
The NASA team is ready for launch.
Okay, this is Orbital. This is your NASA one from Harry Solo Fonts.
3, 2, 1.
And this is a red, orange red, and white flame blade.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And there's your post off.
Watch this.
There's a piece of junk.
Watch what?
And this is Fett's Hyperspace blade style, and I've recolored it to a red and orange version. It's like a blue-white. I figured since you already had a lot of blue blades and a couple of green blades, it'd be nice to give it some variety. And this is Noble from Greyscale Fonts. It's your slow ignition. It's your blue blade with bright sparks. and that's your assembly retraction.
Imperial troops have entered the base. Imperial troops have entered.
Surrender, Jedi.
And this is the last preset on this config. This is Lightside Attack from BKSaberSounds. And this is your tricolor green gradient flame blade. You got your light green, regular green, dark green up top. And then you got your power indicator at the pin. All right. So I'll go ahead and try and charge this up before I send it back out to you. I think I have an adapter for this charger. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I do. So I'm going to try and get this charged for you, and I'll get this out into the mail to you on Tuesday after the holidays. And I made sure and uploaded the most current version of the config onto the SD card of the Saber. So everything that you'll need should be on the SD card here. So once you get the Saber, even though I've done a backup of the SD card on my machine, I recommend as soon as you can to do a backup of the SD card on your machine, just to be sure. Okay. All right. And so thank you for sending this in for me to work on. And as soon as your Saber is done over at Jeremy's, I will do up that Vader config for you on that one. All right. Take care, man.